So if you clicked on this video, I'm assuming you saw the title and you're probably wondering, Enrice, what is this? What are you talking about? What LokiVerse exists outside of the Marvel LokiVerse? And here, let's break it down. So, what LokiVerse is, it's a collection of movies or a connected cinematic universe based off the brainchild of the director Lokesh Kanagaraj. And he's a Tamil director, so you might have seen Telugu with RRR, you might have heard of Bollywood with, J-Ho, other parts of other movies, Shah Rukh Khan, those kind of people. But this is a special universe where it's a connected universe, basically putting reality into cinema, in the sense that what you'll end up seeing in these movies, and I'll actually break them down individually, but I wanted to give an overview before we started everything. These movies are all interconnected, but they're very realistic. And talking about the first movie is called Kaidi. And Kaidi basically means prisoner. So as you can probably imagine, this is a guy who's a prisoner, just released from prison, wants to see his daughter, and the whole objective or the kind of movie is him just wanting to see his daughter. Life doesn't let him. It sounds super simple, but I promise you, when we get into the acting, when we get into kind of the actual part of it, it'll get a lot better. Then the next phase of, or the next movie in the LokiVerse is what we call Vikram. And this is where you can kind of think about it as being the movie kind of like the Avengers, I want to say, where it really sets up a lot of these connected arcs together. It shows how everything can kind of be connected, and it introduces us to one of our main kind of protagonists, Vikram, who's the core part of the whole LokiVerse. Then we get into the next movie, which is known as Leo. So this is actually where the LokiVerse is so far. Leo is an ordinary guy. Literally the first song we're going to see in the movie is a song called Ordinary Guy. And he just wants to live a normal life. He's just chilling, hanging out with his wife, his kids. And he can't seem to escape some part of his life that keeps creeping back at him. And after Leo, here's where we get into a bit of a speculation. And this is what's actually upcoming for the LokiVerse. So giving you guys a little bit of a heads up of what's coming up. Is we're going to have Kaidi 2. So we're going to see what happens, to Kaidi, the prisoner, the ex-prisoner, in the next set, because there's a little bit of interconnectedness that we see when we're in Vikram. And then we're getting into the next movie, which is Rolex. And there's not much details about it. We'll actually dive in more to the character of Rolex when we get to Vikram. But this is going to be kind of the big bad baddie of the whole LCU. I wanted to share this overarching universe is, I think there's a lot of people, myself included for the longest time, that didn't know this is a connected universe. And it actually is intentional, because if you look at some of what the director was saying, Lokesh Kanagaraj, the reason he said he wanted to keep it, a connected universe is for the fans that truly get it. They'll see the pieces that bring it all together. But the fans that are going for a casual watch, especially since these are some of the biggest Tamil actors to date starring in these movies, maybe you're not going to have somebody that's going to go watch the other movies because they don't like the actor. But he wanted it to make sense as a standalone movie, but give that little bit of an extra sauce for people that are huge watchers and actually understand the lore. So it's kind of this beautiful amalgamation of movies that stand really, really well on their own. But once you kind of tie in these other pieces, it takes it from another level. Same way if you take any of the Avenger movies, the reason we fall in love with some of these characters during the Avengers is because the Avengers movie is great. But if you had watched Iron Man, Captain America, all the subsequent movies before, and really had some of that understanding of who these characters are, it makes it even deeper. So this is why I wanted to introduce it, and this is the start of what I like, the LokiVerse. And what we're going to end up diving into is we're going to start chronologically and start with Kaidi. So looking forward to our next project.